paper. I am Brianna, and today I have a twofer. So I am playing along with Christy's Beautiful Life and her 30 Days of Sketches. Today's sketch is by Debbie Norton Burton. And you can see it here. It's got it looks like she did an 8.5 by 11. I'm doing a 12 by 12. It's got the larger photo in the middle, a photo up here with a cluster, another photo with a cluster, and a cluster over here. I am also playing along with Rainbow Magic, and it is with the Crazy Craft Obsession. It is a YouTube and Instagram hop, and our color today is blue. I might be taking some liberties with the blue, but we have lots of blue here. So my plan is to take this lovely picture, and there's gonna be glare, sorry, of myself and my husband at Disney World. We purchased the package for pictures. I have two smaller photos. I use my Project Life app in order to make them. I get 6 of these on a 4x6 photo, and then I can develop it anywhere. And then I have this piece of paper, which again, I'm pushing it, but blue. You can see certain ones are blue. And I'm gonna get I think I'm gonna get a circle punch out and punch some of these out, most likely the blue ones. This is by Echo Park, and it's a magical place. It is from 2021. And then I have these lovely stamps that obviously I can stamp in blue. Most of them are out, and I have them upside down. Most of them are Ellie's Studio. You can see I love Ellie's Studio. I had a subscription for a little while. Here are some fun stamps. So I've got these. I love the stars. This is on top. And then this one is Kaiser Craft. Called Hello, and it's just got some fun pieces on here. It actually has 2014, but I don't have to use that one. And then I have this Bo Bunny, Not All Who Wander Are Lost, with the fun geotags on it. So that is my plan. Let's see what we can do. Let's get scrapping. This sketch by Debbie was very intimidating to me at first, but I am super excited with how it turns out. I love, love, love it. This is a scrap of Close to My Heart paper, which I liked the variation of the two blue colors together. And then I mark with my blue pen. I didn't have a pencil near me. A little spot, because I knew kind of where I wanted it to tear down to, kind of. So I gave myself a mark to shoot for. And I glue it down with HEG right away. And then I do believe I get my photo down pretty darn quick, because I want it, everything kind of goes down based on where the photo is. I also want to make those other clusters, which I don't have a lot of paper left, so I want to be kind of creative and get my get those clusters out of it without piecing things together. So I kind of get creative, turning it different ways to see what makes most sense, knowing that I have to keep some left for another cluster on the other side. So it does get torn differently and moved around, and things change. And I do some measuring. I get pretty precise. Again, I'm not random at all, so I have to try my best to work with what I got. Here comes the ruler. And at first, I didn't start with 0. I started at 1. And I'm like, boy, I must be really off. But once I figure out, nope, you got to move it over to 0. It's really a 12-inch piece of paper. I get things figured out rather quickly. So it's a 5x7 picture. And I want to put that in the middle of the page, obviously, right? So it scoots over just a little bit. And I glue it down. And then I'll work on my clusters. This is one of my husband and I's favorite pictures. That was taken in February when we were just at Disney for a day. We were down in Florida for 3 weeks. And the photographer was fabulous. I mean, he was like, okay, we had some pictures. Well, actually, you can see the little baby pictures up there, the little tiny ones, the 2x2s. You know, it was like standing next to him, and then he was like, okay, hug her like you love her kind of thing. And so that's where we got the big smiles on our face. That was perfect. I try to put this into my trimmer. It's not fitting in there, so I'm just going to trim it with my scissors. I apologize for the length of the video. I sped it up like 4 times, but with all the cluster figuring out, that's where the length of the video comes in, because I putz so much, even though I took out a lot and sped it up. So here's my last piece of paper that's left, and I'm just going to see, actually I have 2 pieces of paper, there you go. How can I make it fit to make it look like the cluster on the sketch? And so again, I take some time trying to figure it out and seeing, you know, can I turn it? Will this work? Will that work? And then I still modify it once I get it to where I think I want it. Or yeah, so turn it upside down. And I know I'm going to use a flat piece to kind of meet the other, I'm going to use another piece of paper to meet that. So I know this can be torn on the bottom, just like the other one on the left. And the paper that I'm going to use to make, oh, see, I told you I'm going to modify it. So I just take a little bit to make it reach just a little bit. And I don't think this is an obvious thing at all. I'm just extending it a little bit and it tucks in behind the photo. And then the paper that I'm going to use for that bit is this pattern paper that has a blue background. It's from a 6x8 paper pad of Disney, and that gives me another shade kind of blue. I kind of have a shade that goes with Daryl's shirt, and then I have the shade that goes with the background of the pattern paper. And then I'm going to get out my trimmer because this is going to be the straight part that meets the other part of the embellishment cluster. And then just kind of tear it from there. Again, being random, but being precise about my randomness. Oh yeah, that one is about 2 inches. Let's make this about 2 inches. Okay, where is that going to be? Okay, mark it with your blue marker on the bottom of the page so that you can get a nice 4-inch cluster over there. And I am, you know, to be fair, I'm working with limited amount of supplies, so I do want to be more accurate so I'm not upset with it when I get it done. I think this picture might end up on our Christmas card. Probably this one and one of the whole family at Disney. We'll have to see, but it's one of our, like I said, one of our favorite photos now of us together. So I measure the pattern paper to get another even cluster and then make another little mark so I kind of know where I'm heading for when I'm tearing it. Let's be precise about our tearing now. Oh well. I'm very happy the way it turns out, so I had, you know, glad I did what I did, I guess. I wish I could be more random, but I don't know. I like to follow the rules. So, here goes my second cluster, and I'm going to trim those. Oh, glue down this cluster on the left, and then I can trim off those pieces and get started with the layering. I did go into my blue color box, if you want to call it, and pulled out, it pulled out a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff I didn't even look at. I wanted a couple different blues. And I found things that are that lighter shade on the bottom, the darker shade on top, and then I just had a couple different shades, and honestly, I don't think I went into those other shades much, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. This one gave me a hard time. I was trying to keep it more level. Yeah. But what I realized is I had to overlap it off the end of the page so that it sat in there correctly. Because it's not an even piece of paper. cute paper, and just, it's got the blue background, so I'm bending the rules a little bit, but I stick to mainly the blue thing. Now I put those pictures up there because I think the little one should go up higher and the closer up one should go down, and I'll change those later. Then I use my Creative Memories circle punch to punch out some of these buttons or flare. And then I have epoxy domes that I got from Etsy. And so you'll see me put the domes over these circles to kind of make it dimensional flare. The pattern paper actually has some shading on it, so it does look dimensional anyway. But I just gave it a little bit more dimension by putting those domes on there. I know if I don't stamp something, I'm going to completely, finish the page without using the stamps, and I really wanted to use the stamps. So those come out. I had 3 different colors of ink that I could have used, but I stayed with the one that matches that background paper. And I took maybe a medium star, closer to small, but not the smallest, to stamp. And then these are fireworks. And I'm going to use the circle punch to cut those out too and put some domes over the fireworks. Then I take the circle that has a tiny little star in it, and I put those in the middle of the stars. Then I cut those out, and then this is where you can see where I took out all of this blue stuff and kind of putting into different piles of the shade of the blue. This is always my fun part, is decorating and finding what I can find in my stash to work on the page. I have had these corners forever, and I glue those down with the ATG, and then I find these, I don't know if they're gems, but they're probably Paper Studio, and they're iridescent, and they look too boring for me, and I did think about maybe like using some ink on them, but by putting these little gems on there, I'll get to there in a second, it gave it kind of some sparkle, some pizzazz. It's just what it needed in the corners, and I got them out of my stash too. Not all of them, but I used 4. And actually later on I pick out one more for something else. So there they go. It's just a little same color but iridescent, and it's just really pretty. Without being well, I don't know, girly. It's a blue layout. I don't know. Does it really matter? No, it goes perfectly with my husband's shirt, so I'm really loving this. Sorry that the sketch is over part of the layout, but that'll change quickly, and then you can see the whole layout and what's going on here. So then what happens is I change out those photos because they layer nicely. So that one that goes on the upper top left can be tucked a little bit on the left, whereas the one that's in the right cluster it covers up people by tucking it onto the right side. This tab says Inspire. I think I got it. I mean, it was kind of like a hand-me-down that I got. And then there is a Sunday Fun Day that's a little bit different than a blue, and it might be Pink Fresh Studio. But it was Sunday and it was a fun day, so I really wanted to use that. I had this blue circle that really matches the background, but it just didn't do anything it just was flat. So I picked up the compass there off the Bo Bunny stamp set, and it works perfectly. And the nice thing is it's smaller it doesn't have the north, south, east, and west, so I can turn it any direction based on how well it's stamped in certain spots, and then make that cluster up on top. And I didn't need a geotag stamp because that geotag was cut and stuck in my stash. It was like it didn't end up on a different layout, so now I was able to use it. And how perfect is that? Oh, and there's where I kind of fit it in so that you can cover up the people, but you can still see us. And so it doesn't follow the sketch exactly. It's not shoved up to the right side, but it is perfectly aligned so that you don't see the people that don't need to be there. That star heart sticker was from a planner sticker, so you'll see a couple of those in there. Here's where I put the dome over the circles that I cut out. That one just a blue and white one, and that's one of the fireworks. But I had a hard time putting two of those kind of flare-ish type things in one cluster, so you won't see those both there. And here's another planner sticker that's kind of just like a banner, so I stick that next to the flare and get that glued down. And I like I said, I just fuss a lot with all these little pieces, and that's what takes all the time. But how can you not, right? This isn't like just slapping things down. It's so that you can make them look nice and get those visual triangles and all those other things. Now, I think that ticket on my left hand or left finger is Pink Fresh Studio, and I'm going to use it for journaling. And then I'm not sure where I got this blue thing. It gets layered there to give it some bulk to the bottom of the layout and brings more blue in. I don't know. I probably wouldn't do monochromatic forever and ever, but it's my favorite. I know people have a hard time with it, but I like it. I like playing with the different shades. This is my title. It says A World of Wonder, and I was kind of worried about it because all the blues are just so similar, but it does work out in the end. So I'm super pumped with how it turned out. Make sure you check below and see there's two playlists. One for Christy's Beautiful Life and her 30 Days of Sketches, and the other one for Rainbow Magic. You can see what everybody else did with these fun, one with the fun sketches and two with the fun color of and challenge of doing blue, and see if anybody's combined them together like I did. I am not participating every day in Christy's 30 Days of Sketches, but I think I will be posting more frequently than I did the first part of the month since it was so busy. Here is a sticker that says genuine, and I just thought it looked good up in that corner or in that part of the photo because there's just the empty spot there. So that goes there, and here's where I'm putting the dome over the camera badge, and then I'm going to work on the cluster on the left hand side, and I have the sticker sheet that goes with the badge, the flare badges from A Magical Place, and that's where I get that sticker from, and it says This Way for Fun. And once I saw that, I knew it just had to go into one of the clusters, and so it works really well there. And I tried that Brown's label sticker, and that's going back. Some of its stuff was just too much to put there. So, but here, and the other thing is, you'll see me at one point like counting each of what's in each cluster. And I kid you not, I did the same number of pieces as she did in each one of her stickers, and there's a different number in each. There was like 5 in one, and 6 in one, and 7 in the other. Don't do as I do as I say, and just do whatever feels good to you. Don't count them. But I counted up. So, and it turned out great. And if it helps me get it done faster, counting is okay. So I guess you could count them if you want. It's better to be a free spirit and just go with it. That circle with the little heart in it is an Ellie Studio piece that I had gotten. And that's a planner sticker with the other heart that goes on top. So I get that glued down, and I layer up the dome and the star. I wonder if anything else goes in there. Count how many pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That might be the 5-piece cluster. That little arrow there, that little light blue in the left corner, moved all over the place and never did go in anywhere. Oh, I lied. Nope, I didn't. It doesn't make it on there. It looks good there though, doesn't it? So there's there's another dome that I'm going to put over it's epoxy. And it can get bubbles in it, so I'm kind of try to stay careful with how I lay them down so that it doesn't bubble underneath there. And I did put some adhesive foam under the heart there so that it doesn't kind of bend over the edge of that dome. And then I get the star in there and the other epoxy dome. I have a lot more fun layouts to do of Disney, but right now I don't have many of the pictures printed, so trying to get stuff done still from like October, November last year, but the Disney ones are always so fun to scrap. And how perfect for this blue challenge too, so there's a water bottle. Man, it was hot there and we tried to stay hydrated, so and where else would you use a water bottle in a layout? So it was perfect for the Disney layout. I decided to use that arrow and I put some adhesive foam underneath there so that it stands up nice and layers over that water bottle. And I'm getting towards the end. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching to the end. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. I would love to hear comments. If you have any suggestions, do you like me doing voiceovers? Would you prefer I do live time? I think in this case it was an hour video before I sped it up, so that might not be a good idea, but I could do them every once in a while at least. Here is another one of those bauble type things that I layered right on top of that epoxy dome. So that was fun. It was just a shade off of the other ones that are in the corners of the picture. That is it. So thank you. Have a fabulous day, and I'll see you again soon for another video.